is the Mercedes-Benz GLS, the real big daddy of luxury SUVs. And the big daddy is all grown up in its new facelift avatar. If you see, this would remind you of the G-Wagon, the legendary G-Wagon grille kind of sits pretty well on the GLS, of course. And it now also shares the engine, the G450D. The engine has moved on to this also. So you now get the GLS in two versions or two variants. That is the GLS 450, which we are driving today, and also the GLS 450D. Yes, so if you can't afford or get the G-Wagon on time, GLS seems to be the perfect proposition for luxury, off-roading, and a lot of other things. Well, talking about off-roading, that's something that has been added to this. The new off-roading mode with off-roading cameras and under-bonnet views are now added to the GLS 450D. So first up, of course, the design changes in the GLS. As I mentioned, it gets the legendary G-Wagon type grille. You also get new bumper, and also the headlight gets new Signet LED beams, and this is again the multi-beam LED from Mercedes-Benz India, and it is just fantastic. What I feel odd right here is this section over here. Now there are no fog lamps here, but there are some cubes here which will accumulate dust, and that could be a problem in India specifically because there will be a lot of dust accumulation, and to clean all those cubes would get a messy job. So I think either this should have been plain, or those lines that we used to get on the GLS, or maybe just put some fog lamp right here. But other than that, I think it largely remains the same, but again largely also changed because of that grille. Under the hood are the changes, and let me quickly show you what are the changes under the hood. Now you get a 6-cylinder 450D and 450 engines. So the new GLS 450 gets 280 kilowatt of battery power and 500 Newton meters of torque, which is 200 more Newton meter than the previous 400. The engine size remains to be the same, 2999 cc, which is a 3-liter 6-cylinder engine. But the best part is both the new engines get ISG support. Yes, integrated starter generator motor, which gives you extra boost when you need it and extra set of mileage. So in terms of the GLS 450, we get a 280 kilowatt of power, which is plus 15 thanks to the ISG boost, and 500 Newton meter of torque, which is plus 200. In terms of diesel, you get 270 kilowatt of power, which is plus 15 thanks to the ISG boost, and a whooping plus 27 from the last generation of 400D. The torque is bonkers now, which is 750 Newton meter of torque, plus 200 from the ISG boost, and plus 50 compared to the previous engine. Now let's move to the side and see what are the changes on the side. The side remains to be the same, but isn't it mammoth? And for the first time, you'll feel a 7-seater car has enough boot space. Usually, all 7-seaters would eat up on all the boot space, but that's not the case with GLS. Everything else remains to be the same, all luxurious, all great. You get your soft closing doors, you get your curtains, you get your boss seat on behind the co-passenger seat, and of course the 21 inches wheelers with really sexy looking alloy wheels. Since this luxury SUV is also ready for off-roading at all times, you get roof rails. But now let's move on to the rear and talk about the rear design. So on the rear, two major changes. Of course, the 400 badge goes away and gives way to the 450 badge, of course, and the lights, the Signet lights have changed, and now you get the 3 pixels, which signify this is the S-Class. 2 are for E, 3 are for S, and this is right here. Looks really nice. You get a humongous amount of space in the boot area, even after it's being a 7-seater. And underneath also you have a lot of great things, like if you don't want your parcel tray to be here because you're using it as a 7-seater, there's special place to keep your stuff here and the parcel tray. There's a spare tire, which is 19-inch wheeler, there's toolkit, there's medical kit, and all those things, and everything has a space for itself. And there are few sets of buttons at the rear. What are they for? Well, you get buttons to lower down the car or raise the height of the vehicle when offloading or unloading stuff. Like right now, I just press the button and the car is raising up. You can also lower down all the seats with the press of a button, which is all seats, or you can just lower down the second row or the third row, which is fantastic. Now we'll just sit inside and talk about what's new in the interior. So when you are in a GLS, you most probably sitting in the boss seat where I'm sitting right now. Why the boss seat? Well, you get your own tablet to control everything about the car. You get your own controls for the curtains for both sides. You get controls for the sunroof. You get your own 11.6 inches of infotainment screen right here, where you can see where the car is going, the navigation, the music, all access to you here. And of course, you get all in the comfort package, like these pillows. Your seat can be adjusted, your headrest can be adjusted, and you can also adjust the seat for the co-passenger side. To be the boss, you have to have the boss controls, and that's what this seat gives you. And when you don't need the armrest and you have to accommodate more people, well, you can do that. You can just lift it up and make space for yourself like this. So this also becomes a seat, and when you don't need a seat, this really becomes the boss seat with fast wireless charging for your phone, and also a smartphone folder very neatly placed in the headrest, where you can put your phone like this and you can see all the notifications without looking for it. And you can also use the tablet for infotainment purposes when you need that. And you also get some more space here to keep your wallet and all. But more than that, you get 5-zone AC in this car. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, the rear passenger also get the privilege of controlling their own climate. And not just that, you also get 2 Type-C fast charging ports, which is 100 watts of fast charging right here. And also they're illuminated, so in the dark, it's never a hassle to find them. You also get 2 HDMI ports. If you want to play PlayStation on this, you want to put your Fire TV stick, all can be done and be displayed on these screens. Your AC controls are here, and apart from that, this remains to be the best seat in the car. But there has a lot that has changed in the front, so let's move on to the driver's seat and show you all the changes that have come to the new GLS 450. So what has changed on the interior is kind of massive in terms of usability and upgrade to infotainment display. First of all, you get the latest generation of MBUX, and that allows you to do a lot of things, like you get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. You get the much awaited off-road mode for this vehicle, which was kind of missing because it had the off-road capabilities, but with off-road mode, now you get all the information and the vehicle height rises up. So if you think the angle is changing, it's not, it's the vehicle rising up. You also get this off-road dials now in the meter dials. So you can see now with the off-road dials, you can see the tilt degree of the steering. You can see if the vehicle height is +1, 0, -1 or -2. And also you see all your directions and a lot of information. But what's important is this new 360-degree camera that offers you bonnet view. That is just exceptional, because that really makes this car a true off-roader, because you can see beneath the surface of the engine bay and see what is happening underneath the car, and that is stitched with AI. All set of cameras make an image and project it, and that's a lot of technology happening right here. It's not a real camera placed under the car's bay area, bonnet area, but all AI working together, stitching the images of all the cameras and giving it to you here. Other than that, you get your off-road features like descent controls, which limits the downhill speed limit of the car to 6 km/h. You can also go to manual mode if you feel that you don't need to shift gears automatically. Sometimes you're stuck in the sand and you want your car to be staying in the first or second gear. You can do that with press of a button. And then you have your traction control on and off, park assist, and the 360-degree camera I was talking about. Now this off-road mode offers a lot of things, like you can see your drive data, you can see your suspension data, your tire pressure. You can also see position, the satellite position of the car, your engine data that shows you the torque and power, coolant temperature, engine oil temperature, all of that with just a press of a button. But what's new aesthetically? Well, you get these slats now, or the interior now gets that Maybach kind yacht, luxurious lines running all through the texture. And this is like piano black with a mix of lines that make it really, really beautiful. But that's not all. You also get a wireless charger that is placed towards you. So when you put your phone on charging, it is always towards you, so you don't have to really fetch the phone when there is a notification. You also get 2 Type-C ports right here for fast charging. You get cup holders that do an exceptional job, whether using a small bottle or a large bottle. If you have a large bottle, well, it won't tumble. Well, even on the inside, Mercedes-Benz India made sure that you're reminded you're driving the new GLS. So you can see that massive grille right here in the icons also, and you can see that off-roading mode how the car is standing uphill, and that looks fantastic, right? But off-road meter is not the only meter. You get a lot of options now thanks to the updated MBUX. You get assistance mode where it shows if there is a car in front of you or any vehicle moving around, or your ADAS functionality. You get full screen navigation if you want that. You also get your classic meter, your sport meter, and you also get the understated luxurious meter. And with that, if you notice, this screen also changes. So it's like a theme, not just meter dials. So when you go to sports, you see the screen on the other side changes to red. When you click on off-road meters, it kind of changes to off-road mode. So that also happens on the fly. And there's one very important mode, which is the service mode, which shows you if there is a service due, your coolant temperature, engine level temperature, tire pressure, and of course if there are any warning messages. Well, that's not all. You also get a new steering wheel on your GLS 450, but that kind of sets the tone of what all has changed in the new GLS 450 and the 450D. Other things remain the same. You get your dynamic modes, you get all your buttons here, you can control your vehicle's height from here. One thing you might miss when you press on the dynamic button is that you only get comfort, eco and off-road now. There's no sports, sports plus or other modes. So it's just comfort, eco and off-road, no individual, nothing. So that's kind of limited the modes that you could drive it in the dynamic modes. But largely it remains similar to what you get because it's a facelift, but a massive one, right? Well, before we end, let me just count the number of fast Type-C charging ports you get in the car. This is apart from the wireless chargers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 fast Type-C charging ports, 100 watts charging port. This is the world's most expensive and biggest power bank, I would say. So because GLS is a 7-seater, how do you get into the rear seats or the third row? Well, it's a Mercedes. You can't just, manually adjust seats. You just press a button and the seats do the magic for you. Automatically lifts itself up and moves further up. You can see the cylinders working in action, taking it further up, and then you can move in. And once you're seated, you can just press a button and bring that seat back, or let it be like that if you don't want the other person to sit. So this is how you sit, and you can of course move up your headrest so that you get your comfort what you need. So this is how you get your headrest up. And now if you want somebody else to sit there, which you will have to, you just press a button again and the second row comes back. And let me see how much space I'm left with. Hey man, I wasn't expecting this much of area for myself honestly, and these seats are further down and you can further move them up and get more space for yourself. So your own climate control, your own Type-C chargers, your own cup holder, your own set of speakers, a huge window for yourself. I don't think so you get anything better in third row of any car. Do let me know in the comment section below if you think any other car has better third row than the GLS. So that was our first look of the new GLS. Do let us know what was your favorite of this car, and we'll be soon bringing you a detailed review. We'll be talking about how it drives, what is the difference that you get from 400. But that's all for the first look of the Mercedes-Benz GLS. Wishing you all a happy new year.